Does Terry Fontenot believe that different levels of resources are needed to change free agency? From a team packed with veterans with little room for a group of rookies and the league's second largest budget to spend, Atlanta Falcons general manager Terry Fontenot is in a tough spot, but will his change process succeed? Terry Fontenot believes that different levels of resources are needed to effect change in free agency, and that investing in young talent is essential to the team's success. He is using financial resources and his experience to identify new players who can help the team succeed next season. But the Shrine Bowl is just the tip of the iceberg for Terry Fontenot, about to begin his third season as the Atlanta Falcons' main lead. After 2 years of fighting the salary cap and being forced to watch from the sidelines in free agency, the Falcons have the league's second largest budget to spend this offseason, estimated at $56 million, but could reach as much as $80 million after extensions, cuts, and restructurings. Terry Fontenot believes that different levels of resources are needed to change free agency, and that investing in young talent is essential to the team's success. He is using financial resources and his experience to identify new players who can help the team succeed next season. Despite having little money to spend on free agency, Terry Fontenot believes it's possible to find value. In an interview with Falcon Report, he said, "We have a team of scouting that does a great job in the draft. It's not just about the first or second round, it's about finding depth throughout the draft and undrafted free agency. And finding players 24/7, 365 days a year. So everything is important. Even if you don't have that many resources to spend a lot of money in free agency, there are a lot of good players out there and we just need to find them." Terry Fontenot believes that different levels of resources are needed to change free agency, and that investing in young talent is essential to the team's success. He is using financial resources and his experience to identify new players who can help the team succeed next season. Fontenot added that staffing teams do a really good job, and don't look beyond what has already been accomplished. In the first season under Smith and Fontenot, the number one priority was building a strong, cohesive culture in the locker room. To achieve this goal, management hired veterans who could bring leadership, experience, and stability to the team. Players such as tight end Lee Smith, safeties Eric Harris and Duran Harmon, and linebacker Brandon Copeland were brought in to help in that process, as was running back Cordarrelle Patterson, who became the first player in franchise history to record at least 500 rushing and receiving yards in the same season, even playing on a one-year contract worth just $3 million. The direction has maintained the trend, just look at the fifth round. Defensive play Taquan Graham, outside linebacker Ade Ogundeji and cornerback turned running back and return specialist Avery Williams have all been selected and have already started play. Last season Graham became an inside force alongside Grady Jarrett. Williams led the NFL in yards per punt return with 16+ and Ogundeji carved a niche as a starting rushing defender. The following offseason, Fontenot brought in two players, receiver Drake London, first round, and running back Tyler Allgeier, fifth round, who set franchise rookie records at their respective positions. 6 rookies started at least one game, including undrafted free agent nose Timmy Horn. In essence, when Fontenot says the Falcons simply have to find good players, there's reason to believe he and the rest of the personnel team will do just that. And yet, even with the different level of resources he mentioned, Fontenot stressed that his process won't change, in part because that's what helped create the identity he and Smith established 2 years ago. Knowing the people you're hiring well is crucial, so we need to be careful about bringing them onto our team, Fontenot said. We've always focused on looks and culture, so we need to make sure we're picking the right people. For that reason, we still sign one-year contracts, which is valuable. Even though we have more space in the budget, we don't change the player evaluation process. Some will be signed for 1 year, others for several years, but we need to know the composition of the team well. With that, Fontenot was back in the city of Las Vegas during the offseason. He pointed out that 25% of Shrine Bowl players are drafted and 50% end up in the lineup, making access a big advantage in April.